middleweight matchup between Paulo Costa going up against Marvin Vettori. Paulo Costa comes in at 13-1 and is the plus 120 underdog, whereas Marvin Vettori comes in at 17-5-1 and is the minus 140 favorite. Paulo Costa is a fighter who is bigger for the division. He likes to move forward and be aggressive, but he has since adopted sitting back on his back foot and throwing from his lead shoulder. He throws straight strikes and loves to use the left hook, jab, and overhand strike. He leans back to avoid strikes and has good durability and pace. He is trained in Muay Thai, wrestling, and boxing. He isn't afraid to attack the body. He likes to get his kicking game involved where he throws snap kicks, roundhouse kicks, and body kicks. He needs to be more disciplined, and he has a black belt in BJJ, whereas Marvin Vettori is a fighter who likes to fight in the pocket. He likes to throw the straight left, and he always likes to fight on his front foot. He tends to bite when his opponents try to feint him. When on his back foot, he likes to lean back to avoid strikes and will reach for the clinch if his opponents try to pressure him. He tends to telegraph his straight left and doesn't check leg kicks. He likes to go for driving single leg takedowns where if he doesn't get it, he grabs the other leg, turns, and drives his opponent down. He has great scrambles, and on the mat, he is more comfortable on half guard. And lastly, he has great cardio and is very durable. Jim, what do you think of this fight? And who do you think wins the main event?
Yeah, this is an interesting matchup and definitely has title implications, right? You talked about Costa being big for the division. Both of these guys, I believe, are the two biggest guys in the division as far as walk around weight after a fight. I think they both come in around like 212, 215. I'm surprised. The first thing that stands out is the numbers. I'm surprised that
Yeah,
that Costa is the underdog, and I think it's just because that layoff, right? We haven't seen Costa in over a year. I think the last time
yeah.
he fought was September 2020, because he's pulling out of all these fights, and he drank too much wine
We had
against
we
Izzy.
had the running joke that Kelvin Gastelum was his replacement in every fight.
Yeah, he was like the great value Paulo Costa because he would just show up and just fight. But I actually have Costa winning this fight, and I think it's because of all the points that you made. I think he has one. I think he has a lot to prove in this fight because he said some pretty disparaging things about the company, how he can make more money on Twitch. Also, subscribe to our channel on Twitch. Costa is going to stand in the middle and try to put Marvin to sleep. He's not going to sit there and wrestle with him, right? Marvin's going to look for the takedown. Costa has good takedown defense. He's a BJJ black belt. You go back to when Costa was on the rise, those matchups with Yoel Romero, who was arguably the best wrestler in that division, and he
Yeah,
held his own against Yoel. Some controversial, splits there, but he held his own. I see Marvin really struggling to get Costa to the ground. This isn't Derek. This isn't Kevin Holland. This is a bigger man that's carrying a
yeah.
lot of weight and who's also carrying a lot of power and uses a variety of kicks. So struggling to take Costa down is going to lead him to try to keep this fight standing. And he's going to be down, I'm thinking like 2 rounds to one, entering the fourth. So he's kind of going to have to try to go out on the shield a little bit. And I actually see Costa knocking Marvin Vettori out in the fourth round. But like I said in the beginning of the episode, there's still time for Costa to pull out, and this could be Vittorio Gastelum. So we don't know what could happen. I hope Costa goes in there because, again, he's got a lot to prove. He is a very entertaining fighter. Um,
Yeah.
I've always kind of been on the fence on where I stand with Costa just because of his antics. But I see him getting this win, and then I see him getting dominated by the winner of Whitaker Adesanya.
I think he's the guy that if he, like it said, if he can get more discipline, he's going to be a big time threat because I think the way he came into the Adesanya fight,
Yeah,
he wasn't prepared and he has the tools to beat everybody in the division because of how big he is. And I think
yeah.
what's going to happen here is I think Marvin Vettori's game plan is going to be to come in and try and take him down, pressure him, try and take him down, and just continue to do that. Because if it's staying in, Vittori's going to be, even with his background, he's going to be at a major disadvantage. Because
Yeah,
I think from fight to fight, Paulo Costa has improved his boxing tremendously, and like I said, he likes to like one little thing that he made a correction on is he kind of stands on his back foot. He goes like this,
Yeah.
and to kind of defend a little bit, and then he has started throwing straight punches now, and he used to be a guy that would just throw the round punch and be able to knock you out. That's kind of like the Muay Thai
Yeah.
foundation of striking, is to just wear the overhand and with power. And I think he's kind of cleaned that up. He's developed like a straight punch, a jab. He's developed a little bit of skills to back that up. And because he's a bigger guy, he's able to take a lot of shots. And one thing that he does, two things, major points I think that are going to be a big factor in Paulo Costa winning is the body shots. He likes to attack the body a lot. I think you're going to see a lot of the strikes to the body of Vettori to kind of slow him down. And the leg kick, you saw Kevin Holland do a lot of that, and Adesanya was attack the calf of Marvin Vettori. But
Yeah.
you got a guy like Paulo Costa, who's not like a thin guy. He's a big guy, and
He's
he
built like an
throws.
action figure.
Yeah, he's going to attack the head, the body, and the leg with all the different kicks that he throws. It's kind of surprising that a big guy like that, he can do all that stuff with his legs. And I feel like what he's going to do is he's going to throw the leg kicks early. And I could see a lot of kicks to the body, and then he's going to mix in the body kick with the shot to the straight shot to the body, because it's going to be very effective. Because once you do a lot of those shots, especially in a 5-round fight, it's going to add up. It's going to hurt you,
Yep.
and it's going to slow you down because you're not going to be able to shoot in very good because you're dealing with the shots that you've already been taken in the gut. And then he's going to try and divvy it up, and I think he's going to wait until later on. I don't think he just. I could see him throw everything in the kitchen sink early, but I feel like he's not going to. I feel like he's going to kind of attack the points, attack the body, attack the legs, because he's not going to check him, slow him down, and then in round 3 or 4, that's when he's going to throw the kitchen sink at him, because then he's going to have him slow down a little bit. As long as he can defend the takedown, I think he might get taken down once, but for the most part, I think he's going to be able to defend it well because of his build and the way that he stands. He's already on his back foot, so he's always going to be kind of prepared to defend it, get in his stance to defend it. And that's when I think he's going to hit him and knock him down. Maybe he knocks him out, but maybe he knocks him down and you get a surprise submission attempt by Costa because of the big build of Vettori. You never seen him go up against a guy that is bigger than him.
Yeah.
And Costa is the type of guy that can do it. And we've always said Costa has the tools, but he needs to be disciplined. He needs to just focus. And I don't think he did that in the fight against Adesanya, and that's what hurt him. He came in nonchalant and he lost. And I think at the end of the day, I think I got a round 4 knockout for Paulo Costa over Vettori.
Nice. Same page again. What's interesting about Paulo Costa, number one, is his size.
Yeah.
Again, built like an action figure. I would love to see what he would do at light heavyweight if he makes that jump. That it's a declining, top 10 there. You got some older fighters, Anthony Smith, Dominic Reyes, who are kind of.
I actually think it's a rising top 10.
Well, I mean, not like declining in the sense of like they're bad fighters. I'm like talking like old. Like Anthony Smith has had a lot of wear and tear. Still dominating people, but like you look at the number 1 contender going up against a champion, it's Glover Teixeira.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, what if Paulo Costa beats Vettori, gets dominated by the winner of Whitaker and Adesanya? Just move up.
I could see that because you've seen Yoel Romero do the same thing, because at one point he was there in middleweight, and then he moved to light heavyweight. Even had a fight in heavyweight, and then moved back down the light heavyweight. Yeah. And him and Paulo Costa are a similar thing. So it's something to consider, and he has that build that he could do it, and he probably could easily cut the weight better than he
Yeah,
does here in middleweight.
to
I,
7 pounds.
yeah, I'd be interested in that, but like I still want to see that Paulo Costa, Robert Whitaker. I think that has potential right there, because I feel like him and Adesanya, I feel like he's always going to be not be disciplined against him because he feels like that he should win, and he
Yeah,
never puts it together. And I feel like Asa is always going to do what he does is fight from distance, and
yeah, and he was
unless
embarrassed by Adesanya.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know,
Even though
Adesanya thrusted on him after he won. You know what I mean, like a dog.
yeah,
So that image plays in Costa's head.
if Costa was able to be disciplined and not do all the antics like he did last time, I think he would put in a 360 fight difference in the second fight against Adesanya than he did in the first. And
Okay.
I think this would be the first step though to show that is him coming in, being disciplined, not throwing the kitchen sink early, attack the open spots, wear Vittori down, and then attack him when there's a little bit of wear and tear on Vittori, because Vittori
Yeah.
has the open spots there to do that. It's just that Vittori is always so successful against his opponents with his wrestling,
Hmm.
and he's always able to hide his weaknesses because of that, because he's the bigger guy. But this is the one fight where he isn't the bigger guy, and he's not able to just ragdoll his opponent down. I think that's where the advantage goes to Costa, and he should be the guy that wins. But if he can't, for some reason, he can't stuff the takedown, then it's going to be a long day for Costa, because I think Costa, if Vittori can take him down, that's where Vittori can hold him down and just get control time on him. But I don't
Yeah.
see that happening. I see the fight standing up, Costa defending the takedown well, and then getting the knockout eventually in round 4.
Well, I'm with you. Honestly, the last two fights were on the same
Yeah.
page, but for some reason, the odds makers don't stick with us. They're not riding with us on this one, so it's an interesting one to see. Maybe that enters your DFS, but we'll have to wait till later in the week. But that's awesome, man. I'm glad that we're on the same page with a few of these fights. Usually, we kind of differ. This is cool.